big poppin'. Money in the bank coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me big poppin'. Money in the bank coming, dropping a deposit. Having it my way, so I got these bitches watching. Steady getting to it, couldn't fit it in my pocket. Flexing everything, baby, tell me what the topic.
What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the bar. It's your girl Henny, and I'm about to pour up plenty of that hot Henny that y'all love to sip on. So if you're new here, welcome. Please be sure to like, comment, and of course subscribe. Click that notification bell, select all so that you get notified whenever I do a video. And if you are a returning Mob Down Henny Gang member, yeah. Now let's get into this hot Henny. Child, your girl has been on vacation, okay? But not really vacation, but just taking a break and doing whatever the hell I felt like doing, making y'all some content, laying down some videos, getting back into the swing of things, coming up with some ways that I want to do things over here on the YouTuber and all of that for y'all. But I hope y'all can see that your girl is glowing, okay? Rested, locks are locking. Period. Melanated goddess. Now, what y'all came here for is because y'all seen the title, and yes, the court docs are in, and guess what, y'all? The witness list is being released to Big U, Luce Cannon, and all of the other people that are on here, Sylvester Martin, Mark Martin, Armani, Frederick, and Tiffany. They will all be getting to see who the witnesses are that are on this case, the confidential witnesses. Now, what does that mean? Well, child, let's get into it before we get into this court document, because baby, this is some hot ass Henny that y'all definitely are going to want to sip on, because this is a development that is possibly going to change the dynamics of this case. And with all the talk that has been going on with three-finger duty shooter PP Liquor Wack and Luce Coochie Lips Ashley out here, he's a snitch, no, he's a snitch, no, they're a snitch, and that's a snitch, and snitchity, snitch. All of that is about to come to an end, because here's the play, okay? So the government filed something called a protective order. Let me get that up here on the screen for y'all. Let me get my watermark first, even though people can get this stuff on their own, but still, let's get this watermark up, and let's get into these court docs the way that Henny serves up these court docs for y'all, okay? This is, baby. All right, here we go. Boom. Court doc is up here. So this is the government filed something called a protective order. Okay. So the translation is that the feds are about to hand over extremely sensitive documents to Big U, Luce Cannon's legal team, and everybody else that are co-defendants on this case. And these documents include who the confidential witnesses are on the case, their cooperation history, their medical records, personal information, the whole 9 yards is about to be given to them, okay? Because they know how hot this could get. They said, hold up. Nobody better not leak this. Nobody better not leave this in the car. Nobody better not show this to no homies at the barbershop. This stays locked with the lawyers, period. Okay. So that is my synopsis on all of that. Now let's see what we are talking about here. Okay, it says what they are charged with, which is the RICO and all of that. So now let's get down here to number 2. It says a protective order is necessary because the government intends to produce to the defense materials regarding confidential informants or cooperating witnesses who participated in the government's investigation and who may testify at trial. So we're not just talking about people who came in, sat down, and gave a few to them. We're talking about people who are actually going to be taking the stand as well, okay? The government believes that the unauthorized decimation or distribution of the materials may expose him/her to potential safety risks. All right. Number 3 says a protective order is also necessary because the government intends to produce to the defense materials containing parties' PII, which is personal identifying information like social security numbers and stuff, and medical information. Now, I know, thank you very much. Hey, salute to 504 Street Stories. I watch you, so it's an honor to have you in my chat right now. Salute to you. If y'all are into getting it from the streets and getting a real gritty edge on it, y'all go check out 504 Street Stories and Gangsta News Network. They are dope. All right, so the government believes that disclosure of this information without limitation. Oh, we were talking about medical information. So why would they want medical information, right? Okay, here's why. It's not so much about finding out blood pressure and all of that. It's mental health. They want to know their mental capacity. So they need the medical records, okay? The government believes that disclosure of this information without limitation risks the privacy and security of the informant's legitimate owner. The medical information at issue may also be subject to various federal laws protecting the privacy of medical records, including provisions of the Privacy Act. Okay, because the government has an ongoing obligation to protect third parties, PII, and medical information, the government cannot produce to defendants an unredacted set of discovery containing this information without the court entering the protective order. So, what are they saying, Henny? What they are saying is we have to put this protective order in place because we can't give this to you because it would be a violation of HIPAA. Okay, remember the Privacy Act. So they have to put the protective order in so that way they can cover their ass and their tracks and say, well, if anybody gets this information, it wasn't us because we put an order of protection in as a safety guard. Okay. Moreover, and with them giving out PPIs, which is the personal identifying information, their social security numbers, their home addresses, their emails, their phone numbers, they've got to put this in there too. So moreover, PII and medical information make up a significant part of the discovery in this case, and such information itself, in many instances, has evidentiary value. If the government were to attempt to redact all this information in strict compliance with Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 49.1, the Central District of California's local rules regarding redaction, and the privacy policy of the United States Judicial Conference, the defense would receive a set of discovery that would be highly confusing and difficult to understand, and it would be challenging for defense counsel to adequately evaluate the case, provide advice to defense, or prepare for trial. So what they're saying is this personal information and these medical records make up a bulk of all of the information that they have. So if they were to redact any of the information out of it, you're not going to be able to understand any of it. If you remember, there was a document in the Big Meech case that I was reading through and trying to make sense of, and it was heavily redacted. And it didn't really make sense to us until we got further along into the court documents and searched here, there, and there, and we were able to piece some of it together. But that's what they're saying would happen here, and this would significantly hinder the defendants, Big U, Luce Cannon, Sylvester, all of them. It would hinder their lawyers from being able to defend them adequately. So, you know, if they can't defend them adequately, that means they're not going to be able to proceed with the trial. But anyway, an order is also necessary because the government intends to produce to the defense materials that may contain information within the scope of Privacy Act. To the extent that those materials contain Privacy Act information, an order is necessary to authorize disclosure pursuant to 5 USC, blah, 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 okay? The purpose of the protective order is to, A, allow the government to comply with its discovery obligations while protecting this sensitive information from unauthorized dissemination, and B, provide the defense with sufficient information to adequately represent the defendant, okay? So now, basically, we're getting into CW materials include any information relating to a confidential informant or cooperating witnesses' prior history of cooperation with law enforcement, which means that some of these witnesses and these CWs have cooperated in the past. And they're going to be giving that information up to the defense. Let me take a sip of water on that. And of course, they will be getting the cooperating witnesses, the CWs, prior criminal history, statements, and any other information that can be used to identify a confidential informant or cooperating witness, such as names, images, addresses, date of birth, or unique personal identification information, such as social security numbers, driver's license numbers, account numbers, and telephone numbers. Baby, they turning everything over. Child. PII materials include any information that can be used to identify a person, including their name, address, date of birth, social security number, driver's license number, telephone number, account numbers, email address, or personal identification number. This is the definitions of everything, so you understand what I just read to you, right? Medical materials include any individual's identifiable health information that is connected to a patient's name, address, or other identifying numbers, such as social security numbers or Medicare, Medi-Cal number. All right. Confidential information, we know what that refers to, and we know what the defense team refers to. So I'm just going to scroll this document up to the top, make it hot. That's a okay, that's not an appropriate song for what we're talking about right here, but I was talking about from the top, so just ignore the hell out of me right now. Okay, all right. So here's where the streets get shaky, though. After reading all of that, what they're saying is defense lawyers can't post this online. While they can't post it online and they can't hand it out to people in the streets, let's kind of be real, you guys. Okay, let's be real. The defendants, the defense investigators, the expert witnesses, and even witnesses for the defense, they all will now know exactly who the snitches or cooperators are. And trust me, this kind of information we all know does not stay on paper. It leaks into the streets, it leaks into the jail phones, and sooner or later it's going to leak to us on the internet. Y'all already know that, so we got to keep our eyes open, okay? So now with this happening, with them giving up the people who are cooperating, this changes everything for this RICO, okay? The defense now has ammunition to destroy the CW's credibility because they're going to be digging into their past, the criminal past, old cases, their snitching history, which is crazy as hell because how does a person have a snitching history that can be brought up in court? They made a whole career out of snitching. That's what that means. Lord, even their mental health issues, if they're applicable. Look at me using big words, applicable. This can all come down. But now on the flip side of this, if the cooperating witnesses survive cross-examination and they hold up in court, that could be a nail in the coffin for all of these co-defendants on this case. So either way, this is war in court. That's basically what this means. This is war in court. And here's where it gets deadly serious, okay? This opens the door for witness intimidation, all jokes aside. It opens the door for witness intimidation, which means that these people can now start putting out allegations of threats or retaliation against them now that their names are out there. It could possibly delay the court or even cause mistrials if the leaks get out of control. Because let's be real, even with this protective order, we all know that leaks are going to happen, okay? If anybody so much as whispers these CW's names to the wrong person, this could turn from a federal case to possible street beef with bodies dropping. Like, y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. And it can happen real fast. That's why the feds are trying to lock this up so tight, okay? So what's next, right? So the defense team will be preparing hard to discredit the confidential witnesses in court. We know this. So once they get all of these names and mental health histories and criminal histories and snitching histories, now the defense team can go after these witnesses' credibility. Okay. The government will be doing everything to try to keep them protected and keep them credible. So for everyone who is feeling like three-finger duty shooter might be on this list, y'all call him Wack, we call him three-finger duty shooter PP Liquor over here. But if y'all are wondering if he's on this list, if his name is on this list, guess what? Every defendant on this case is going to find out, and they're going to know his snitch history. Could be a motive as to why he's out here trying to clean his plate and back away from the situation and take on a stance of, I ain't never seen Big U do that. I don't believe that Big U would do that. But you've been hollering that he would do stuff. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it. That's allegedly. Listen, it ain't a fact. It's alleged until it becomes real on paper. I'm just saying, okay? Now, this protective order is them, the courts, you know, it's their way of trying to say, you know, we're giving you the names, but you better not let this get out. Meanwhile, leaks and rumors will probably start to swirl in these internet streets at any point in time after these names get out. Let's be real, okay? And this part of the case, if we had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say it hit a level 10 with this, okay? So this is officially one of the most dangerous phases. If we're going to be honest and take all jokes aside, this is one of the most dangerous phases of the Operation Drawdown case. You know, the confidential witnesses aren't confidential no more, at least not to the defense. And we don't know, will these witnesses survive the streets and the courtroom? Like, we don't know. Or will Big U's legal team and Luce Cannon's legal team and all the rest of them rip the CWs apart and make this RICO fall apart? I have no idea at all. But you know what? I'm going to be right here behind the bar pouring up every last detail for y'all. That's what I'm going to be doing, period. But as y'all can see, like, it's about to get really real out here, okay? And while they, you know, like I keep stressing, they're under this order and they're told to shut their mouths. But Henny Glasses in the chat, if y'all really believe that that's going to actually happen and nobody's going to say anything. I don't believe it. It's just a matter of time. And sweetie, better stay the hell off the phone. Because here's the thing. The minute that something gets leaked out and it comes through any one of them, there are legal repercussions and ramifications that they are going to suffer if they find out that they were leaking the information from the inside. So while Luce likes to get up here and he likes to run his mouth, oh, Ashley, sweetie, sugar plum, cotton ball. If ever there was a time for you to zip it, this would be now. Sharice, if you give any, how long are we in? We 18 minutes in. If you give even a half of a fuck about your man, don't post nothing that he says. Keep it cute. Put it on mute. If you really give a damn. Now, if you want him to continue to sit up and click city, you do what you do. That's none of our business or concern because we gonna report on it regardless of what he do. We gonna report on it. But this is not the time for anybody to okay, Bugs Malone. But this is not the time for any of them to decide that they want to run their mouths. And I know it's going to be hard. And all of us in the public want to know who it is. But you know, if it leaks, if it slips, you know we gonna have it. I'm just saying, you know we gonna have it. But I don't know if we gonna say anything. But this is what everybody is waiting for. Henny, you said cut and it went straight to commercial. Oh, it did. Hey, look at that. Look at YouTube lining with me, even though YouTube playing with me, because Anyway, let's see what y'all are saying over here in the comments real quick. I'm gonna scroll up just a little bit. You're welcome. Oh, if anybody wishes to review this, you absolutely can. Just please make sure you give the video put the link in your channel description, a small little shout out. That would be cool. I don't care if you use my material, just use it properly. Wack 100 is probably in there somewhere. Michelle, I am with you on this one. Okay. The FBI pays good money to snitch. Yes. Remember, we did a breakdown. I actually went through what the audit was that they had did way back when, and they were talking about the money that they were paying. And then when Khalitha was talking about, that's the girl who had the whole third-party cooperation business, broke it down about the money that they was making. Them snitches was making money over money over money over money. This is their career. This is what they do. They just sit back and go and they snitch from case to case. They snitch. Okay. Salute to you too, Bugs Malone. Done and overdone. But how long till we find out? That's the thing. They're not trying to let us have any of that. So what I didn't mention to y'all is Big U and the rest of the co-defendants are not going to be able to look at this information outside of being in their lawyer's presence. Only the lawyers, the paralegals, private investigators are able to have these documents. Okay. The defendants are able to view these documents only in the presence of their attorneys. And once the attorneys are done with these papers, they have to either return them to the government or destroy them altogether. That's how much they are trying to safeguard this information to keep it protected. They're not trying to have it leak at all. So they're putting this protective order out there so that the government can cover their behinds. Now, how many times have we watched a case and we ended up finding out exactly who all of the witnesses are? Some of the witnesses have already been figured out since the complaint. It wasn't hard to figure out who Molly Mall is. And a lot of people know who the businessman was. And then we figured out that Monster was one of them. He was the victim one. I mean, some of them were so obvious, right? But it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of Three Finger probably walking around with lipstick, wig, rouge, and a dress to hide right about now. His karma is getting ready to hit him like a boulder. Let me explain something to you. His karma, when it comes down, it's going to be so diabolical. It's going to be so diabolical. And for all we know, he may be getting his karma now. I was speaking to Stand On It Media. He made a very good point. He could be getting his karma now. He's going down, and I'm going to be around to see it. That Three Finger Ninja is going down in my Mary J. Blige voice. Okay, they need to start. You're right. He's going to try to run his mouth, but you know what can end up happening? Now, if you go back to the Cuffy Gatlin case, remember when Cuffy had leaked out allegedly who the witness was, and he was telling people, shouting it from the rooftops that it was Tammy Cohen's that was snitching in his case? They took his telephone privileges away. So that means that if the government feels that at any point in time, Luce poses a threat, or he accidentally on purpose leaks somebody's name and it's actually valid, they're going to 86 his phone calls. So he can try to stay relevant and keep running his mouth on that phone, but they'll end up snatching it, and then he goes down, and watch Sharice keep pumping and going up. Do I mean a pun intended? I don't know. I don't know if I mean pun intended. Who knows? They probably can wear a camera on their clothes or girl, Michelle, where are they going to get a camera from to put on their clothes? They're wearing prison uniforms. Miss Henny, I'm not trying to change lanes. Do you think Miss Gigi is compromised, though, i.e. Wacky? I don't see signs of her being compromised the way that we consider compromised. I just feel like Gigi is trying to get her story out there, and whoever can elevate her to get it out there even further and push it out there wider, she's going to go that way. But I really just think she wants to be heard. She wants her story out there. She wants the record set straight because Gigi was done wrong. Gigi was done wrong. You know, if Luce was just up here saying all the stuff that he was saying, then that would be one thing. But the minute that Sharice decided to open her mouth and like be the hype man for Luce's BS, that's when it took a bad turn because you weren't there. You don't know what their relationship was. But allegedly, and according to police records, Sharice knows that Luce has a hand problem. So if I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if deep down inside she's happy that he's behind bars because he can no longer put hands, feet, and elbows on her. Who knows? Because allegedly, Luce did beat Sharice so bad that she was in the hospital. And I have to say allegedly because there's no paperwork to back that up because she didn't press charges. So then there's that. So who knows? We're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. I know it's taking way too long for Wack to go down. I totally agree with you. But you know, is idols become rivals for real, though. Wow. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, I just wanted to come and I wanted to come drop this to you. Henny, do you know when was the last time Wack 100 did prison time? You can get anything in jail, swallow it with a kiss. It will literally come out the other side. Michelle, the last time that, I don't know when's the last time you went up on a visit, but it's not that easy to sneak things in. And they don't have anywhere to hide the camera. They don't have button down shirts or anything like that. They wear like scrub type outfits and sometimes they wear jumpsuits. There's nowhere for them to hide anything, especially the way that they get searched. There's no way. And I don't know what California is like when you go in for a visit, but I know in New York, number one, you got to clear the metal detector. And number two, they are searching you so much so that they want your hair taken out. You can't have your hair up. It has to come out or you got to shake it out. So I don't know. I know they can sneak paraphernalia and all types of stuff in there, but I don't think anybody's going to be able to sneak one of them small little cameras into the jail. You heard it from Street TV. Yes. They did cover Gigi's story on Street TV. I also covered it like 3 months ago. I covered Gigi's story as well. With the documents and everything. So yeah, you could check out Gigi's story. After each visit, they are strip searching you. After each visit, they got a cop and squat and cough and all that other stuff. Yeah. So I don't know, but they wouldn't have to go that hard because they're going to know the names. That's the funny thing about confidential witnesses and people who decide to turn informant. People know who they are. They're always somebody that's close to the situation. It's never some random person like that. No, I'm not going to say never because it does end up being random people, but the random people you probably saw more than one time. So in order to get that, it would be contraband from the COs, that part. Now you're talking. And you said corrections officers, and you're correct. Both of y'all said that. I'm sorry, Michelle, I missed that one. Did you talk about the game? There's really nothing much to talk about with the game. Woody was the best one. Child, Woody got on that stand after snitching and said, I ain't snitch. He didn't know what they was talking about. Oh, man. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. We're going to keep our eyes on this. And as things continue to develop, I will continue to bring you updates. I really don't have much more to talk about. I do know that one of the things that I'm watching academics and him backpedaling away from the situation. Well, guess what? In the last video that he did, it's already saturated on my timeline. I don't know if it's saturated on your timeline, But in the last video that academics did, he said he was backing away because there are bodies involved in the case and this is getting really spooky out here. But I've been said that. So to all of my content creators out there, stay safe, stay dangerous, and try not to slip up and end up in Spookyville by covering certain things and talking about certain stuff. And if you plan on going up on some of these platforms, or if you know anything, I would suggest that you zip it before the feds come and flip it. Okay, because the game is rigged now, and the name of the game is put a narrative out there and see what you can get. And this narrative of this new body that's out here, man, listen. To me, it smells of, let's throw this body out here because it's an unsolved homicide. And let's see what these podcasters come up with and what people say in the comment sections about it. And that's what they go off of, because, you know, people be like, oh, yeah, I remember that because wooty woot and doo 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 doo. It ain't safe on these internet streets. And they letting it be known it ain't safe. So y'all stay safe out there. If you just coming in, catch the rewind. If you've been here, however long you've been here, thank you for coming in. Your girl is still on vacation, but I will be working on slowly coming back because, as y'all can see, the algorithm is really hating me right now. But anyway, y'all be good how y'all be good, and I will see y'all in the next video. Let me know what you think on the replay, gang, down in the comment section. Run this up, and I'll see y'all later. Peace, everybody.